गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषद अध्याय 4 मंत्र 15। स एव काले भुवनस्य गोप्ता विश्वाधिपः सर्वभूतेषु गूढः यस्मिन् युक्ता ब्रह्मर्षयो देवताश्च तमेव ज्ञात्वा मृत्युपाशाश्चिनत्ति। श्वेताश्वतरोपनिषद repeatedly makes one statement: jnana leads to moksha. Jnanadeva kaivalyam. Knowledge alone is the way to moksha. If anybody has any doubt, they should read Svetaswatara, because in Svetaswatara this statement is made repeatedly. And the Svetaswatara also says it is impossible to get moksha without Atmajnana. Even this mantra finally makes the same assertion. Jnana is the way to be free from samsara. And while making this statement, the Upanishad describes the Jnaya. Jnayam. The Paramatma is called Jnaya. As in Bhagavad Gita, Adhyaya 13, Jnayam yattat pravakshyami यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते। ज्ञेयं यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते. In Adhyaya 13, Bhagavan tells Arjuna, I will tell you the Jnaya. Jnaya means the one who should be known. That which is worth knowing is called Jnaya. In the mundane world, We have so many jneyas. The news is a jneya because everyone has to read the news. Whether you like it or not, we have to read the news. A little bit at least. What is going on in the world? If we have to conduct our life, we have to know what is happening in the state government, what is happening in the central government, what is happening in the parliament, what is now of course you need to know what is happening in America also, because everything is interconnected. What is happening in America will have impact in the local market also. Therefore, so many jneyas are there in the world. But if we analyze properly, what is really worth knowing? What is worth knowing? If you know it, you get real happiness and you get a total freedom from all the problems. Then it is worth knowing. The only worth knowing, the only reality that is worth knowing is Paramatma. Therefore, Krishna says, it is the Jneyam. Only Paramatma is the Jneya. Because only by knowing Paramatma, one can find true fulfillment in life. Vidyaranya describes it in Panchadashi Prakarana 7. The 7th Prakarana of Panchadashi is called Tripti Deepa Prakarana because it talks about Tripti, the true satisfaction. There, at the end of that Prakarana, Vidyaranya describes the experience of a Brahmajnani. A Brahmajnani says, Kritam Krityam Prapyam Praptam Prapaniyam. I have done what has to be done. Kritam Krityam. I have done what has to be done. Only a Brahmajnani can say this. I have done what has to be done. Because until one is a Brahmajnani, we have so many things to be done. This has to happen, that has to happen. Son's marriage has to happen, daughter's marriage has to happen. After marriage, they have to get the children. So many things have to happen. A Brahmajnani says, Kritam Krityam. I have done what has to be done for my satisfaction, for my happiness, for my fulfillment. Praptam Prapaniyam. I have accomplished what has to be accomplished. Now there is nothing more to be accomplished. Because after attaining Brahman, you cannot attain anything greater. It is the culmination of all attainment. It is the culmination of all accomplishment. Therefore, Krishna calls it the Jnaya. Jnayam yattat pravakshami. I am going to tell you the Jnaya, the one that is worth knowing. Yajñātvā amritamashnute. Having known that Jnaya, you will get amritatva, you will get moksha. The same Jnaya is being told now. Sa eva kale bhuvanasya gopta. Saha eva, the same Paramatma, the same Ishvara. Kale means sthiti kale. During sthiti, between utpatti and laya, between srishti and laya, there is a sthiti, sustenance. The world is running. Sthiti kale, bhuvanasya gopta. He is the protector of the universe. Ishvara protects the universe during sthiti. All the planets are revolving in their own orbits around the sun. Who makes them revolve around the orbit? We can say it is the gravitational force. The gravitational force has held a particular planet in its orbit around the sun. But even the gravitational force, who made the gravitational force? What really is the gravitational force? The scientists can say there is a gravitational force because two objects attract each other, and the force of attraction to objects is proportional to the mass of those two objects. M1 and M2, the mass of the two objects. And it is inversely proportional to the square of distance between the two objects. It is inversely proportional to the distance. Because as the distance increases, gravitational force decreases. As the mass increases, gravitational force increases. That is why in Jupiter, gravitational force is much more than Earth, because Jupiter has higher mass than the Earth. The scientists can say this much based on their observation. They have observed, and based on the observation, they made the law of gravitation, Newton's law of gravitation, and then Einstein's law of gravitation. Einstein has modified the law of gravitation further because Newton's law did not account for certain variables. Then Einstein modified the law of gravitation. So the scientists could find that there is a law of gravitation. But what caused the law of gravitation? How did the law of gravitation come into being? What really attracts these two masses? Is there any wire? Is there any subtle wire that we don't see? No wire. Without any wire, the earth is revolving around the sun. So who made it happen? The science has to stop somewhere. Science cannot answer after a particular limit. Scientists don't answer. That is why even the scientists acknowledges that we don't know. There may be an Ishvara. And the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, it is the Ishvara, it is the Antaryami who holds the sun and moon in its orbit. Etasya va aksharasya prashasane gargi surya chandramasau vidhritau tishtataha. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Yajnavalkya tells Gargi. There is a dialogue between Gargi and Yajnavalkya. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we find two women who speak to Yajnavalkya. One is Gargi, another is Maitreyi. No, Gargi is not Yajnavalkya's wife. Maitreyi is Yajnavalkya's wife. Gargi was perhaps a rishi like a learned woman, and she challenges Yajnavalkya. Katyayani is just mentioned. Katyayani, there is no discussion with the Katyayani. So, Maitreyi and Katyayani were two wives of Yajnavalkya. But regarding Katyayani, there is no discussion, only the name is mentioned. Anaya Katyayanya saha antam karavani. So Yajnavalkya tells, Pravrajishyan va are ahamasmat sthanadasmi. I am going to take sannyasa. Therefore, let me settle between you and Katyayani. Only there you find Katyayani. The name is mentioned. But the discussion is with the Gargi, who challenged Yajnavalkya among various other wise men like Kahola and other people. Even Gargi challenged Yajnavalkya. In fact, she challenges Yajnavalkya twice. There is a debate with the Gargi twice in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Then Yajnavalkya tells Gargi, Etasya va aksharasya prashasane Gargi. Hey Gargi, O Gargi, this Akshara, the Brahman, the Akshara, Brahman is called Akshara. Naksharatiti Aksharam. It is called Akshara because it is imperishable. On account of the command of this Akshara, Surya Chandramasau, the sun and the moon, Vidhritau Tishtataha, they are held in their position. Therefore, Bhuvanasya Gopta, Ishvara is the protector of the universe, the sustainer of the universe. Vishwadhipaha, he is the Lord of everything. Vishwasya Adhipaha, the Lord of everything and everyone. Lord of even the Devatas, even the 9 Grahas, Navagraha. Sometimes certain Grahas start troubling us. Sometimes Shani starts troubling. Sometimes Rahu starts troubling. Sometimes Ketu starts troubling. Then generally people worship that Graha. Only when the astrologer tells you go to do something for this Graha, we start going there. But suppose one holds on to Ishvara, even the Grahas cannot do much harm, because Ishvara is the Lord of all the Grahas also. The 9 Grahas are like a football for Ishvara. Just 9 balls. When we do not take recourse to Ishvara, the Grahas have a say over us. They start bothering. In fact, the Grahas themselves don't bother. What bothers us is our own prarabdha, our own previous karma. And our prarabdha reflects in the form of the position of the Grahas. The position of the Graha is an indication of our own prarabdha. That is why we cannot blame the Graha. It is our own prarabdha. The position of the Graha is just an indication. If Shani is there in a particular house, this is going to happen. If Buddha is in a particular house, this is going to happen. So, all these are just indications. What determines these is our own prarabdha. Therefore, if one holds on to Ishvara, even the grahas are taken care of. Therefore, Vishwadhipaha Sarvabhuteshu Gudhaha. He is hiding in all beings. Gudhaha. He is hidden in all beings. Meaning he is present in all beings, but we are not aware of it on account of avidya. Yasmin yukta brahmarshayo devatascha. Even brahmarshis and the devatas are associated with the same Ishvara, connected to the same Ishvara. Even their power and their knowledge is on account of the grace of Ishvara. Brahmarshayaha, the brahmarshis, the brahmarshis have the knowledge of the Veda, the knowledge of Shastra. Where did they get the knowledge of the Veda? From the Ishvara. And the devatas, various devatas. The devatas have special powers. Not only they have powers, they are capable of blessing the others also with a certain amount of powers. Where did the devatas get their power? Even the devatas get their power with the blessing of Ishvara. Tamevam jnatva, tam evam jnatva. Having understood the Brahman in this manner, as revealed in this Shastra, Mrityupashan chinatti. One breaks the snare of Mrityu. Mrityu stands for samsara. Samsara is represented by Mrityu. Mrityu is frightening. Generally, people are afraid of only Mrityu. But if we consider a little more, there are many other things in the samsara which is much more frightening. Therefore, yeah. So, Mrityu Pasha, what binds you to samsara? The binding factor of samsara. What binds us to samsara? Avidya, kama and karma. First of all, avidya. Avidya generally means ignorance. But in Vedanta, when we say avidya kama karma, it is not just ignorance, it is also adhyasa. There are two types of avidyas. One is called karana avidya, another is called karya avidya. Karana avidya is the moola avidya. Moola avidya is the one which is responsible for hiding the truth, veiling the truth. It is called moola avidya or karana avidya. Now this avidya gives rise to adhyasa. Avidya gives rise to adhyasa. In Vedantic parlance, even the adhyasa is sometimes called avidya. What is adhyasa? Adhyasa means mistaking one for the other. Atasmin tadbuddhihi adhyasaha. Taking one for another is called adhyasa. Atasmin tadbuddhihi. This is the definition of adhyasa given by Shankaracharya. Atasmin tadbuddhihi. It cannot be translated. Atasmin tadbuddhihi cannot be translated. If at all you translate, it will become perceiving that in non-that. Perception of that in non-that is called adhyasa. For example, taking the rope as snake. Perceiving the rope as snake is adhyasa. In the same manner, perceiving the body, mind, senses as the Atma, taking the Anatma as the Atma is the adhyasa. Avidya, the moola vidya, gives rise to adhyasa. The adhyasa is also called avidya sometimes in the Shastra. In order to distinguish it from the moola vidya, karana avidya, we call it karya avidya. The avidya which is an effect of the moola avidya is called karya avidya. So there is karana avidya and karya avidya. Both are called avidya. When we say avidya kama karma, both are included. Avidya as well as adhyasa. And then kama, adhyasa gives rise to kama, desires. See, adhyasa happens at two levels. One is at the individual level, another is at the external level, means the outside objects. At the individual level, we mistake the body etc. for Atma. When we mistake the body, mind, senses and prana as the Atma, we get a sense of limitation. I am limited. We get this feeling. I am limited. I am incomplete. When we are limited, we are incomplete. This happens at the individual level. I am incomplete. I need support. I am dependent on the world for my completeness, for my security. All these feelings arise from the adhyasa at the individual level. Then there is another adhyasa which happens at the level of the objects. The objects are mithya. The nama rupa are mithya. But we ascribe satyatva on the object. The mithya is perceived as satya. This is another adhyasa. Mithya vastuni satyatva buddhi. Taking the mithya objects as satya. It is another type of adhyasa. When that happens, the external world appears attractive. If we know that it is mithya, it will not attract. But when we think it is satya, it starts attracting. This is another adhyasa at another level. So at one level, the body, etc., is mistaken as the self, as me. Another level, the objects that are originally mithya are perceived as satya. Then what happens? See, I am limited. Therefore, I want completeness from the external world. When we have this feeling, we see the external objects. The objects are real. When the objects are real, we feel they can fulfill our incompleteness. They can fulfill our requirements. They can give me completeness. They can give me happiness. We start thinking so. And that is when another avidya pasha, another mrityu pasha, it is called kama, desire, arises. So avidya leads to adhyasa. Adhyasa leads to kama, desire. I want this, I want that. So many kamas. And we cherish so many desires. We have so many pets in our mind. Nowadays, Some people have snakes also as pets. Not just dogs and cats. Even snakes are fed. Anaconda. Somebody had anaconda as a pet. Crocodile. Likewise, we cherish so many pets in our mind. Kama. So even after 60, 70, people dream of becoming a young man, etc. If I were young like the movie film star, I will do this, I will do that. See, there is a misconception that kama goes away with age, desire goes away with age is a misconception. Desire never goes away with age. That is why Shankaracharya says in Bhajagovindam, Vruddho yati grihitva dandam tadapi na munchatyasha pindam. Vruddho yati grihitva dandam. An old man goes with the stick. Still the asha, desire does not go away. Then somebody may ask, when we were children, we had so much of desire for sweets. Now we don't have those desires. Does it mean the desires go away with age? The answer is, it is not so. See, on account of the biological inability, certain desires may not find their physical expression. It is like when you have high fever, you won't have taste for food. It does not mean you have grown out of the taste for food. Yeah, desire is intrinsically there, potentially there, but it is not finding its expression on account of the physical inability, biological inability. Therefore, it is a misconception that desire goes away with age. Desire does not go away with age, and desire does not go away with the death also. That is why Mundaka Upanishad says, Kamanyah kamayate manyamanaha sa kamabhirjayate tatra tatra. Kamanyah kamayate manyamanaha. One who cherishes his desires. Saha kamabhir jayate tatra tatra. He is reborn with the same desires. Shankaracharya says, Taireva kamabhihi veshtito jayate. When he is born, he is veshtitaha. He is coiled by those desires, like a snake. The desires do not give up even when the jiva travels and goes to another janma. That is why, again, right from childhood, slowly the desires we had in the previous janma starts manifesting. In a baby, you cannot see because it has not yet manifested. All the desires, all the samskaras, all the crookedness, everything, the mental disposition, everything starts manifesting slowly. Therefore, as long as we cherish the desires, we are allowing the snake to coil ourselves, bind ourselves. encircle ourselves. Therefore, kama is another mrityupasha. That is why the best thing, the most desirable thing for a Vedanti, for a sadhaka, is to try to get rid of the desires by cultivating vairagya, by doing dosha darshanam, janma mrityu jaravyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Krishna says in chapter 13, a mumukshu should constantly see the dosha, the problems associated with the janma, birth. That is what we are learning in detail in the evening session. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha. Vicharya ko va viratinayati. Yeah. Who will not get vairagya when somebody analyzes the problems associated with the janma, roga, etc. So, kama is another mrityupasha. And then comes a karma, actions, punya and papa. Punya papa rupi karma. All the karma that we do produces punya as well as papa. And both punya and papa bind. If we have punya, also we have to take one more janma to experience the result of our punya. In the next janma, I want to be born in America. Somebody has this desire. So he does some punya for that. Now America, because people don't have much shraddha in Swarga. Swarga is there or not, people may ask question. But America is there, everyone knows. So in the next janma, I want to be born in America. So for that he does some karma. At least he prays. He prayed to Bhagavan, "O Lord, in this janma I am born in this country. May I be born in another country in the next janma, America." So then he got some punya on account of his prayer. In the next janma he is born in America.
Be born in India.
So even punya is binding. That is why some people, on account of punya, they have to go to America for 3 months. Some people have gone already. So on account of their punya, they miss some Vedanta classes.
Not anymore. We did it there also.
So, and Papa also leads to one more janma, other janmas, dog janma, cat janma. The Shastra itself prescribes what kind of Papa will take to what kind of janma. There are some descriptions in the Puranas, etc. If you cheat someone, you may get this janma. Sharirajaiv papadoshaihi yati sthāvaratam naraha vachikaiv pakshimragatam manasair antyajatitam. If I do sharira papa, any papa with my hand or feet, if I beat someone or kick someone, Sharira Papa. In the next Janma, my physical freedom is taken away. Means I become a plant. I cannot move my hand. Vachikaihi. If I do any Vachika Papa, verbal Papa, in the next Janma, my freedom of speech is taken away. Means I become an animal or a bird or animal. I cannot speak kaka, cuckoo, that's all. At the maximum, I can bark. Manasair antyajatitam. If I do any manasa papa, in the next Janma, I will not have a freedom to think. Perhaps I will be born in a country where there is no freedom to think. In many countries, there is no freedom to think. You know very well. So, Punya and Papa is another Mrityu Pasha. The Jnana puts an end to all the Mrityu Pasha. Avidya, Kama, Karma, everything is broken. Everything is removed by Atma Jnana. Bhidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. भिद्यते हृदय ग्रंथि. The hridaya granthi, the knot in the heart, which binds the jiva into samsara, it is broken. Means avidya, kama, karma is broken. Chidyante sarva samshayaha. All doubts are gone. No doubt regarding the Atma, no doubt regarding the reality. Whether I am Brahman or not, whether I will get moksha or not, all such doubts are gone. Kshiyante chasya karmani. Even the karmas are expiated, exhausted. No more punya, no more papa. Tasmin drashte paravare. When the Brahman is known, when the Brahman is realized. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.